Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the singers, the singers only. Singers, the singers only.
Hey, you guys, it's Kristal Cherelle from Indie Artist School. Welcome to the Singer's Arsenal. I don't know about you, but all of the vocalists and legends that I love and that a lot of people tend to like are unique. Have you noticed that their voice is just something you know instantly who it is when you hear it? They have a unique, identifiable sound. And they have a tendency to make other artists want to try to imitate them, but it's something about them that makes them sound different from the rest. And if you're an artist trying to strive to master your voice, you're probably thinking, how do I make my voice sound more unique? And so that's why today we're going to talk about how to make an impact with your voice, the 3 steps to making your voice unique. Okay, so I'm a little bit nerdy, guys. I've actually created an acronym to help you remember this, and it's called T.P.S. And what I mean by that is timbre, placement, and style. So let's break that down. But first, I want to invite you to donate to this podcast by showing your support with a monthly donation of $1 or $10. All you have to do is go to anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. That's anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. Thank you. Okay, number 1, timbre. So timbre is one of those things that's kind of hard to describe because it's something that we all just feel and know. Okay, so timbre, I found the Oxford Dictionary definition of it, and they were saying that it's basically the quality and character of a sound. And I was like, that's okay. But I actually like the Wikipedia definition even better because it says it's the color and quality and tone of a sound. Timbre is really the thing that makes sounds different from each other, not just in pitch, but also in how you know that a guitar sounds different from a piano. It's why a voice sounds different from a trombone. And it goes even further. It's also the reason why even in a row of acoustic guitars, they don't all sound the same. It's also the reason why in all of the voices in the world, everyone kind of has their own voice. And there's a reason behind this. Okay, so you think about sound. Let's just really break it down. All sound is a vibration, okay? It resonates at different frequencies and things like that. But there are some things that really can manipulate the way a sound resonates and is produced, and that has to do with the shape and area that the sound is in. And these are the things that are variable between different instruments and different voices. So your voice is really actually pretty cool. Obviously, you produce the air with your lungs, but also your voice has a lot of things going on. So there's your trachea that has your voice box in it, and everybody's voice box is different. And in that voice box, you have your vocal cords, which are made up of vocal folds, which varies from person to person. And then you've got your throat, and everybody has a different size throat, and then different shapes as well of your mouth. So these are a lot of different ways that your voice can be different based on purely biological differences. One of my sisters, out of all of us, sounds pretty similar to me. And, I was like, well, how did that happen? But then you think about it, we're biologically very similar. All of us are. There's only so many different variations that you can create out of the same parents, right? And here's the deal. I'm saying similar, not the same. I say all that to say that your voice is already unique. If you're trying to sound unique, I just want you to know that right now, you already sound like you, okay? I really want you to embrace your natural sound. And now we're going to build from that. Okay, so step number 2 is vocal placement. And that's how you can manipulate the shape of your mouth by moving your tongue to different places and directing the air that you're projecting to different places in your mouth, whether it's further back in your mouth or further forward in your mouth, more up towards your nose or dropping down more towards your larynx. Those are the ways you can manipulate the shape and space of your mouth to change the color. So I like to think about the two extremes of vocal placement who have really honed a unique sound. The first one is, I'm going to say Toni Braxton. I like Toni Braxton because she has most likely already a naturally dark timbre, meaning a little bit more of a cool tone, a little bit heavier. And also she's actually pretty breathy as well. So she has an open vocal placement, but her jaw's dropped. You can feel that, you can hear. See, I'm blending feeling and hearing with it because I'm so connected to how sounds are produced. But anyway, her jaw is most likely dropped and her larynx is dropped down as well. It's like you're about to yawn. Ah. And what it does is it exaggerates the color, right? So she probably already had a deep voice, but now it sounds even deeper just because of her vocal placement that's a little bit further. Unbreak my heart. See, you hear how that's like a little bit darker? But if I were to bring it more forward, same pitches. Unbreak my heart. Same pitches. Unbreak my heart. Can you hear the difference? I didn't change anything but my vocal placement. My timbre is the same because I'm born with that, okay? But I changed the shape of my mouth and the placement so that it sounds a little bit more heavy than it is. So that's a way you can manipulate your vocal placement. Another extreme would be Erykah Badu. I like her too because she actually probably already had a bright or light, brassy tonal quality or timbre to her voice, and she exaggerated it a little bit as well. She has a more forward placement. It's a little bit more narrow, a little bit higher up towards her nasal cavity. Oh, hey, I'm trying to decide why, it's a little bit more forward, up and high. It's light, more brassy and more small. And it made her sound more unique. And even as I'm imitating these artists, you're probably noticing you don't sound like them, but I do sound different. These are ways you can manipulate your vocal placement so that you can have a different overall sound to your voice, even with the same timbre. And the thing about vocal placement that sets Erykah Badu and Toni Braxton apart is that they went to the extreme and they weren't afraid of anybody saying, hey, we don't like that. They're so different, right? And some people either love them or hate them. But one thing you can never say is that they sound like someone else, okay? And what that does is it creates a really strong core fan base. And that's why legends are legends, guys. Like, let's be honest, there's only one of them and no one else can quite sound like them. And they've embraced all of those qualities of their voice and used it to their advantage. The third step, style, is another thing to take into consideration. Just changing your vocal placement and embracing your timbres, usually good, but another way to even make sure that you're even more unique is by blending elements of genres and styles in your vocal technique. So let's take, for example, Tina Turner. I like Tina Turner. Her voice is unique. She has a raspy timbre, and her vocal placement is actually kind of brassy and open. It's kind of a mix between Toni having an open placement and Erykah Badu having narrow, but her also being brassy. So she's big and brassy, which is interesting, right? Because she's got that rasp and the grit behind it too. But then not only did she have that going on, or does she have that going on, she also mixed genres. She mixed rock with soul. Okay. And so that right there gave her an extra edge. So, and even the artist I just named, Erykah Badu, for example, she has kind of a playful, I would say, happy kind of sounding voice. If you were to just put the voice alone with no lyrics, no anything else behind it, you would feel like it's fun, you know what I mean? But she used elements of jazz and hip hop and soul all together, as well as having lyrics that were a little bit more thought provoking. it was just something you never heard before. And that's the key. So using elements that already exist and blending them together also really, really helps make your voice more unique, because I'm not just talking about what you're saying and what genre you say you are. I'm talking about how you use your voice. By implementing some styles of belting, for example. Michael Jackson, okay, so he belted, okay, but he doesn't belt like Whitney Houston belted, right? Whitney Houston used more long, clear, open, high belts. And Michael Jackson used belts as well, but he used them more sporadically, quickly, and with grit as well. So that's something to think about. These are style differences, but the element of belting is still there, and you might want to explore what kind of vocal runs you use. Is it, more intricate and fast, or are they a little bit more slow and traditional, or do you not use them at all? So all of these things are things that really make your voice more unique. And the big thing here is consistency. For your voice to sound unique, it has to be some elements that we can expect from you as a vocalist. So that's one thing about all of these legends that I've mentioned. We know what to expect from their voice, right? We know that we're always going to get that raspy tone from Tina Turner. We know that we're always going to get that brassy sound from Erykah Badu. We know what to expect from these vocalists, and they've really branded their sound, right? They're consistent. They know what it is. They've got their timbre, their vocal placement, and their style. I want you to be able to find your own voice. Don't feel like you need to copy anyone else. You can be influenced, but the key here is for you to remember how to find your voice. You got to get in touch with your timbre, stick with it. You've got to make sure that you are exploring your vocal placement, finding a tone that you really like and embracing it, okay? And then third, you got to make sure that you are finding a way to meld different vocal genres in different ways than has been done before. If you want to learn more things like this, go ahead and visit my website, indie-artist.teachable.com, and click that subscribe button and submit your email so I can send you vocal tips to your inbox. That's indie-artist.teachable.com. Well, you guys, until next time, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a sing.